very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I would just like to begin by, number one, congratulating Curtis. He's a wonderful, wonderful young man. This is a tremendous honor. Steve Largent, being the first winner, set the bar really high, and I have been privileged to know a lot of these guys who have won this award. I've coached 4 of them, had the privilege of that, including Derek Brooks. And Curtis is going to fit right into this group. He is just a fantastic young man, much greater man off the field than on the field. I want to talk about something that's very important to me, and I want to build on what Curtis talked about. I want to talk about my relationship with Christ, what God has done in my life, and some of the things that I've seen him do. And I know as a football coach, it's oftentimes better to use illustrations than to talk. With our team, I can show one video clip of a play that an opponent is going to run, and it's much better than me talking for 15 minutes. So I'm going to illustrate 3 things that I've learned about the Lord, and I'm going to use my boys to illustrate that. I'm going to start with my middle son, Eric. He's 14 years old, and if you watch a lot of football, you've probably seen him on the sidelines of Colts games. He looks more like me than my other 2 boys do. As a matter of fact, he looks so much like me, when I look at him, I see myself at 14. And I see a lot of the same things. Eric is very, very competitive, ultra competitive. He's focused on sports to where it's almost a problem. He's super emotional to where it's almost scary. Now, those of you that see me now would say, wait a minute, that doesn't sound a lot like you. But it was me at 14. I grew up not too far from here in Jackson, Michigan, and there's some people in this room that knew me when I was 14 years old. And when people talk about me being composed and calm on the sideline, my buddies laugh, because that's not the guy they remember. I was the guy that got the technical fouls, that got thrown out of the games, that got in the fights. I quit the team my senior year because I had a disagreement with the coach. And now when people ask me, how do you stay so calm on the sideline? I really have to tell them it is Christian maturity, okay? And it's Christ working in me, much as Curtis said. It's not natural. It didn't happen overnight. It was a process. So when I look at Eric now at 14 and I look at myself, that's one of the things I know about God. I know how powerful his spirit is. I know that he can change people. And I know that he'll do that if we allow him to. And I really believe he's going to do that with Eric as he grows. Second way I've seen God's hand at work is through our youngest son, Jordan. He's 5 years old. Jordan was born with a rare, very, very rare neurological condition. It's called congenital insensitivity to pain. There's only 2 or 3 cases in the whole United States. It's a little more prevalent in other countries, but there's only been about 3 diagnosed in the United States. And basically what happens, he's missing the conductors that allow the nerve signals to go from his body to his brain. And that sounds like it's good at the beginning, but I promise you it's not. Okay? We've learned a lot about pain in the last 5 years since we've had Jordan. And we've learned that some hurts are really necessary for kids. Okay? Pain is necessary really for kids to find out the difference between what's good and what's harmful. Okay? Jordan loves cookies, and cookies are good for you. But in his mind, if they're good out on the plate, they're even better in the oven. And so he will go right in the oven if my wife's not looking when she's baking them, reach in, take the rack out, take the pan out, burn his hands, okay, eat the cookie that's too hot, burn his tongue, and never feel it. And he doesn't know that that's bad for him. Okay? When we go to the park, he'll go on the slide, and all kids know it's fun to go up the slide and slide down, and he has fun doing that too. To him, it's just as much fun jumping off from the top. He has no fear of anything, so we constantly have to watch him. We've also learned that pain actually helps the body heal. Something I didn't know until talking with the doctors, that you get an injury, your brain senses there's pain there, and it sends the right healing agents naturally to that spot, okay, because it senses something's wrong. Okay. Without that sensation of feeling something's wrong, Jordan's body doesn't send those healing agents, and consequently he's got cuts from June and July that haven't healed yet. The other thing we've noticed with him and our other 4 kids is that pain is the quickest way to get your kids to come back to you. And if you have young kids, you've all experienced that before. Hey, don't do this, don't do that, you're going to get hurt. They don't always listen, but as soon as they get hurt, they come screaming back to you. Okay? We've got a daughter the same way. She's the same way, and as soon as something happens, she runs and races, and it's very dramatic, but she comes and jumps in your arm. Jordan, be careful. Don't run in the house. You're going to run into something, you'll get hurt. Bam! But he keeps on going because he doesn't feel the pain, and he doesn't turn back to us all the time. So that's what we've seen, and really, you get the question all the time, as Curtis brought up, why does the Lord allow pain in your life? Why do bad things happen to good people? If God is a God of love, why does he allow these hurtful things that Curtis described to happen? Well, we've learned that a lot of times, because of that pain, that little temporary pain, you learn what's harmful. You learn to fear the right things. Pain sometimes lets us know we've got a condition that needs to be healed. Okay? And pain inside sometimes lets us know that spiritually we're not quite right and we need to be healed, and God will send that healing agent right to the spot. And sometimes pain is the only way that'll turn us as kids back to the Father. So we've learned a lot about that.